Welcome to the ECE Classroom Podcast with your host, Susie Beghin, inspiring early childhood educators every day. Hello, and welcome to the ECE Classroom, the podcast where we dive deep into the world of early childhood education, parenting tips, and creative learning strategies. I'm your host, Susie Beghin, and today we have a special episode all about the outdoors. Joining us is Rusty Keeler. He's a natural playscape designer, author, and speaker on all things to do with outdoor play and the connection to nature. Rusty, welcome to the show again. Thanks for coming on.
Well, hi, Susie, and I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for inviting me on, and hello, listeners. I'm glad to be talking to you. And I am an outdoor play person. I come at it from a design perspective. So I am a natural playscape designer, and I specialize in working with early childhood folks and schools and parks and communities to connect kids to nature through play by creating natural play spaces. So I've been doing this for 35 years, Susie. So my hair is gray, I've been going for it, but I'm lucky because I love it so much. I love, working with people that care about children and play and nature and, letting kids explore and discover and, get messy and take risks and have loose parts. And my playgrounds are, compared to like metal monkey bars or plastic, structures, mine are more like landscapes for play. So I call them playscapes. So there might be more like hills and pathways or sand pits, water, boulders, mud, gardens, chickens, that kind of stuff.
I love that. I've yet to see chickens on the playground, but that would be interesting.
Yeah, they're out there. They're out there.
Thank you again for coming on. And I've spoken to you before on the podcast, and we've heard all about risky play and how to create a natural outdoor space for children, which I think is so important these days, especially because I'm finding that children are inside so much. They're indoors so much because over the last, 10, 15 years, parents have just cocooned, right? We just cocooned into our spaces. We don't go out much, and then therefore children are not seeing us go out much, and therefore they're staying in as well. And there's so many other distractions with devices and things like that, even in the early years, which is unfortunate. But that makes this conversation even more important.
Yes. Yeah. We want to get children outdoors and we want to connect them to the earth and the seasons and the cycle of the seasons and, have them be around trees and fuzzy caterpillars or grass or see different kinds of weather or clouds. And, I think about in this, the modern day, these days, everything's fast paced and getting faster and faster in technology and artificial intelligence and everything. And so what I'm calling for is slowing it down, finding a different speed. Instead of like machine speed, I'd like us to kind of work with our children to get on earth speed. So it really is like the speed of a ladybug or the speed of wind blowing through the trees or the speed of children building with loose materials. And to get on that speed and to connect with the earth and connect with kind of like, ourselves, and for children to, learn who they are through play and through loose materials and through being with other children there in the real world.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah.
I love everything you just said.
All right. Good. Thank you.
I know you have a new initiative that's just launching this month. So do you want to talk about that? Tell me a little about this new initiative, what it is, and what it's all about.
Absolutely. Thank you. I'm so excited about this. I've been cooking it up for a few years now. And, it's something I've been thinking about maybe with my own career. I've gone from being a designer to an author. I've done books about nature play and risky play. I've traveled all over the world. I've been a speaker, keynotes at conferences and workshops, and I've done workshops all over the world and risky play roundtables where I, connect with educators, early childhood folks. And we talk about, supporting risky play, the benefits of risky play, but also the challenges and what's it like, to hear, I get people in a circle. We just sit in a giant circle and we talk, and the group shares wisdom and challenges and successes. And I realize for me personally that the next stage that I want to going in my life as my hair is going gray is I want to keep creating community. And I realize that this stuff is so important, especially as like life is speeding up in society and technology and all that. I feel like, for all of us that care about children and outdoors and nature and all this, we can do it on our own, but I feel like we're stronger when we're in community. So I'm building this, what I'm calling Nature Play Academy. And it's a community of the most excited people in the world who are most excited about nature play and loose parts and connecting with the seasons and risky play, that we can come together and kind of online as an online community, and we'll have monthly meetings and I will facilitate them. I will provide content every month and then we'll talk about it, and then you get resources and research to kind of back things up. A lot of the questions these days are, people are learning what the benefits of risky play and all this loose parts and nature play is. And so we're kind of understanding that. But the next step is like, well, okay, how do we talk to licensing about that? How do we talk to parents about that? In these risky roundtables, I hear a lot of those conversations and questions like, I'm getting used to, saying yes to more play, but what happens when a parent comes in and sees their child climbing in a tree or, messing around with all these loose materials that looks like a junkyard? I know it, right? I know it's good for children, but how do I explain it? And so that's what I love about, getting people in a group and talking about it. So for me, that's how I want to go forward. I want to form community. I need it for myself. I want to be in groups of people that are excited like me about nature play and supporting this kind of play for children, balancing it out with the modern. We're not going to go backwards and do away with technology, but it's a balance. We want to balance it out, connecting kids to the natural stuff too. So yeah, I'm just super excited. Another thing is that I myself not only designing and speaking about it, but I am a lifelong learner with this stuff. And I'd go on tours all over the world to like check out. I want to see how are they doing it? What are adventure playgrounds in Berlin like? Or how are they doing play in the UK, Denmark, New Zealand? I have a million billion pictures and stories and video. And I thought I was going to put all this stuff in books. I've done 3 books, which I love doing. But, when I think about book writing, it's kind of lonely. Right? It's like you're
kind of one-sided.
Yeah, it's like one-sided. It's all by yourself, and then you put it out, and then you hope people like it, you hope people read it, but you don't know. So I thought, gosh, what if instead of doing that, maybe I'll still do some books, but instead of really doing that, what if I just put it out? What if I put together content every month and I just put it out, that I show the permaculture playscape in New Zealand that I visited, and we talk about it. And we talk about, what might work in other people's yards. And, and I just want to get it out. Maybe that's in my age now of like, I just want to share everything I have because I want to lift our community up. I want to give everybody the tools to be able to try nature play. And my saying is dream big, start small, never stop. And so I want to give people the tools to dream big, but be practical and be able to try things out and see how it works, and then come back to the group the next month and talk about it or ask questions. So I've been working real hard and, kind of forming this hub that we can all meet at and have community. Also, when I was younger, telling another little story here, I was so enthusiastic about all this stuff. I wanted to like build as many natural playgrounds. This was the way. This is what children need. So I was going to build as many as I could and work with communities and local materials and people and everything. And I did a lot. But now that I'm older, I realize, gosh, the way I can really make an impact is not for me to try to do everything, do as many as I can, but try to just help everybody else to make little changes, to plant sunflowers, to build a mud kitchen, to do the small things, to say yes to things that maybe they never said yes to before. So I feel like the more people I can reach that way, the more children will have the opportunity for the deeper play, the connections to the earth and themselves and play and discovery that they can. So it's all kind of wrapped up in that of like, supporting people so they can feel more confident and creative as they support play. And then in turn for children to grow braver and creative, more creative and collaborative and all the good stuff.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's a very nice model, and it's very much teacher model. Wanting to have to share everything, I can definitely relate to that. When I have something that I'm so passionate about, I just want to tell everybody and I want everybody to know about it.
That's
And
right.
I can see that coming from you. A real educator does that, right? They have that inside them where they just can't keep it in. They got to share it out. Who is this Nature Play Academy built for? Is it for administrators? Is it for teachers? Is it for both? Like parents? Like who's going to be part of this group?
Yeah,
Or
great
who do you
question.
anticipate?
Great
Yeah.
question. Yeah. Well, it's interesting because my audiences are all over the place. Probably mostly early childhood educators, but there's also directors, the university professors, there's designers, there's, primary elementary school teachers, parents and grandparents, city officials, planners, parks and rec people, but probably more in the early childhood education world. And even within that, it's for all levels. And to me, that's kind of what I'm excited about too, is that no matter where you're at, you can dream big, start small, and never stop. You can take it to the next level. So, when I go out and talk to groups, it's people at all different levels. And so it could be people just beginning. I kind of look at this, I have a little growth path because not only I want to speak to people at different levels, but I want to help them all get to like, oh, what's their next level? What's their next level with all this? So I kind of look at it like this, I call it seed to forest. So the first person might be a seed. You're just beginning, right? It's all ahead of you, and you might have this idea of like, oh, I'm curious about nature play or risky play, but I've never done it. And maybe you're a new teacher, or you're a student, or maybe you do more traditional play in playgrounds, but you're curious about stepping in this direction. So that's the beginning, and then the sprout is the next one. Okay, maybe you're trying some things and you see it in action, but you have tons of questions. The next level somebody might be at is a sapling. Like you might be doing it, you're doing nature play or risky play, and you might even have some systems in place and it's working, but you have lots of questions. And you'd like to talk to people about it. Like, what are other people doing? And maybe you feel like you're alone. You're doing it, but maybe you feel like you're winging it. So it's for them too. The next stage of people are trees. And these are like what I call the seasoned pros. And so these might be people who could be a director of a center. Maybe they run a forest school where children are climbing trees and in creeks and digging in the mud. And, they're going full power with all this stuff and they love it, but they just want to keep learning. They want to keep learning and growing themselves because they love this. And they also want to help other people, help people who are just starting and answer their questions and kind of share, like you said, be a teacher, like share their experiences and wisdom. And then the last group I'm calling the forest. And the forest are like the leaders out there that are moving and shaking and changing the world, working to change the world. And they might, be running nonprofit organizations or doing play advocacy, maybe have their own podcasts, getting the word out there and making change. And so those people are in the mix too. So it's really for all levels and no matter what, if you're interested in nature play, risky play, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
count me in. I'm going to sign up
All
myself.
right. All right. Love to
And I
have you.
encourage, yeah, I encourage all my listeners. Again, doesn't matter what level you're at. If you're curious, I guess that's the key here. If you're curious about nature play, risky play, bringing more nature onto your playground or onto your outdoor space, I think this is an amazing opportunity to learn from someone who is an international speaker, who knows a lot about this and can help you navigate this space where sometimes, like you said, it can be difficult given that, parents sometimes don't understand or licensing officials don't understand the benefits and the importance of this. So thank you so much for being here today.
Yeah.
I really
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Sure thing, Susie. Yeah. It's going to start in September, but kind of right now we have a wait list. We'll also do every month I'll do people can send me pictures of their own yards. And I'll on the live call do a little thing called "What Would Rusty Say About My Yard?" Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
take
just
you up on that one.
there we go. And just, talk about it and see how to, take that to the next level. And then there's also opportunities for like one-on-one. I'll have a few time slots each month of one-on-one coaching or talking to me about anything. And then there's like a library of resources and fun films to watch and lots of tools and talking points and the whole thing just to kind of help people wherever they're at.
That's beautiful. Thank you again. And yes, we will have all the information about Rusty's Nature Play Academy in the show notes. The link will be there so you can sign up. Get in there this month because it starts in September. Thanks for tuning in to the ECE Classroom with Susie Beghin. For more information, you can visit our website at www.susiebeghin.com. Remember to rate, review, and subscribe to our podcast so you can stay up to date on our latest episodes. Thanks for listening.